You're not done yet. You might be experiencing something that's really challenging in your life right now, or maybe you have in the past, and you've just kind of wanted to throw your hands up and say, "This is it," right? If you ever experience anything like that, then this video is for you because I'm going to show you a few methods when you are experiencing something like that that's holding you back. That way you can move you forward. And I'll be sharing a couple of stories about myself as well that I've experienced. And first of all, when you experience something in your life that you just really hit that resistance, right? It feels like you're doing a lot of work, right? You got long days, and it seems like the more work you do, the harder it gets, right? It's almost like, like quicksand, right? Like the more you move, the harder it gets. Now, one thing that I've experienced is when things like that happen, their life actually happens for you, not against you, right? And that was really hard for me to really understand because sometimes, man, life is hard, right? Like, all of a sudden, everything's going just great, and then something happens, right? And then all of a sudden you get into the cycle of the resistance, right? And it feels like you don't know what to do or how to fix it because the more you do, it's just sometimes more things just start happening. For me, that was a while ago. I hit a real personal resistance with me. My business was going well, and just internally, it was, I was really inside. I was very negative, right? And there was these feelings that I had that I couldn't understand what was going on, right? But everything else was going okay, and then it happened. Then my business started to crumble. Right, my business that I had started with my wife, things just started falling apart. Right, like we had started it 2 months prior. Then the business went totally to zero. It was a hair salon business that I had no experience in, but I had a calling to start it. So we started the business. 2 months later, the doors open and we have zero customers. Right. Every single day I saw money just going out the door, right, with no customers, right? We might have like one or two, customers in, but not enough to pay the bills. And then all of a sudden, when I thought we were starting to get some customers, because what it kind of forced me into, it's like survival mode, right? But then laws changed. We were in California at the time, and then within that industry, and then that choked it even more, right? I wasn't prepared for that. So then one day, I was sitting in my car outside the hair salon, just with my head buried. And I called one of my friends, a very long time mentor of mine. I gave him the, kind of what was going on because he asked, and, he just gave me a statement. And I want to give you that statement because it really allowed me to really wake up from what was going on, from being, very like depressed and very, sad and, just being kind of like in that victim mentality. And he said, "Juan, you know what to do. Just do it." He said that, and I actually felt a little anger behind, right? Because he was giving it back to me, right? "Juan, you know what to do. Just do it." Right. He didn't give me the answers. He didn't give me more than that. And like I said, when we hung up the phone, I felt like I called him for answers, man. Like he didn't give me the answers that I was looking for, but I sat with that for a while. And then the next day, things started happening. Someone reached out to me that they could possibly help me with some marketing with the business, that they wouldn't charge me only if we got clients, right? And then, I hired him, right? And then I got another opportunity, a local opportunity to join a group that, like a Chamber of Commerce group that can possibly bring in more business. And then I just started working. My butt off harder and harder, growing the business. 6 months later, right? After I learned, the online marketing, and I built systems, and I started, finding people that we could put in the salon. We had like over 10 people working in the hair salon, and we were, paying the bills and then some, right? And we became one of the busiest hair salons in the area, not knowing anything about the industry. And what I want to I share that story with you is because sometimes when we feel that it's the hardest of times, right, and we're looking for an answer, we're looking for someone to give us an answer, we're looking for something to just kind of save us. And if you're in that mode, the only challenging part is that you have all the answers. Sometimes you do need, like my friend, said, you know what to do, just do it. And that's very important because you know exactly what you have to do. You might need some guidance, right? You might need someone to kind of, point you in the right direction, but you know exactly what to do. So if you're experiencing a challenging time right now, you know what to do. And if you don't, then let's go out and find some answers, right? And the best way to do it is don't get wrapped up in your thoughts, because that's what happened to me, right? Like I was just thinking, what was me? Like all these things are, like I made all these bad decisions with the business. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't do enough research, and that just put me in this box that I just couldn't get out of. But it was a self-imposed box, right? So until I reached out to my friend, and again, he kind of snapped me out of it. He woke me up a little bit from it. And that's really important. So I don't want you to, kind of put yourself in that box of your thoughts, right? Because they're going to keep you there. So, find some resources, find some way that you can snap yourself out of it. And that way you can continue moving forward. So I hope you found this video. It's going to be a little bit shorter, useful, but I really hope that if you are in that place, that just don't give up, right? Figure out either someone or some way to keep moving forward. And sometimes when you're experiencing something, like I was, maybe it was the best thing for me just to walk away from it, but I knew I couldn't, right? So I was stuck. I was stuck in that moment. So the best way to do it is to reach out to someone, reach out to something. There's an inner calling inside you to keep moving forward. We always have the answers. And this is what works really well for me, is to ask different questions. At that moment, at the time when I was sitting in my car, and, I was just wrapped up in my thoughts of, just beating myself up for the decisions that I made in that business. I noticed one thing, and I was asking myself the why me? Why did it have to be me? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do this? Now that question, why, it's very confrontational, right? And when you ask yourself why, it's going to give you answers of why it actually happened to you, right? So it's not going to give you the right answer that you want. So you want to change those questions, right? This I learned, many years ago, that you want to change those questions that you're asking for. If you ask different questions, you will get different answers, right? So if you're stuck in the moment, most likely you're asking yourself the same question, right? So you want to ask yourself questions. The best questions is to ask yourself, how can I move forward from this? How can I solve this problem, right? Like, where can I find the resources? Who can I talk to? That's the question that I asked, and then I called my friend, right? So you want to ask who, what, why questions that'll snap you out of that situation where you're at, and then you're able to go forward, find the solutions. And sometimes you don't have all the solutions, right? Like me, there was a marketing guy that was able to help me and teach me on how to grow the business, grow the online business, which I had no idea prior to that, right? I just thought you open the business and people magically showed up to get haircuts, right? Because everybody needs a haircut. So we had a lot of traffic coming in, why not, right? But that's just not the way it works, right? And life it's about lessons. You're going to hear a lot too. You always see the majority of people, sharing things on, kind of like the shiny object, right? Like telling you like the perfect life and everything. But look, for a very long time, I was always chasing that perfect life. Like, when is all this pain? When all the, when am I not going to have to work hard, right? When is everything going to be easy for me, right? When are my thoughts going to be all positive, right? When am I going to have the perfect body? When? The issue with that is that life is a journey, right? Every single step, every moment that you're in is a new opportunity to grow and to learn. And yes, there's going to be challenging times that are going to happen to you. Yes, and it happens to all of us. You don't see that too many other times, right? They just tell you the end result. But part of life is going through that and either getting help or, have someone that you can talk to, like I did. But you're going to go through challenging times. The one thing that you cannot do is stop, right? I love Les Brown. If you don't know him, he's a motivational speaker. He always says, if you're going to fall, make sure you fall forward, right? So what that is if you're going to make a move, right? If you're going to make a mistake, whatever it is, just keep moving forward. Just don't fall back into that cycle, right? So to do that, you got to ask different questions. Different questions will get you different results, right? Just like the way I asked at that time, and I have plenty of other stories as well. But I hope you found this message useful in allowing you to be able to move forward from where you're at, from overcoming your challenges. And if you found it useful, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more, and also drop some comments below if you would like to hear anything different, or if you have anything to share of like some of the challenges that you're going through that you can going to start overcoming by asking different questions. Take care. Namaste.